Warning, this fucking video contains spoilers. What the fuck is up, everyone? Prison Meddler here. I'm back with a new movie ranking, or franchise ranking, and it's going to be on Friday the 13th. So this is the third horror movie franchise that I am ranking. As let me know, Friday the 13th is definitely one of the big four slasher films. And I have to be honest with you, Friday the 13th is probably my least favorite out of all four big slasher films. I still like the franchise, but I just like the other three more. Yeah, there's 12 movies in total. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said before, there's 12 of them. Yes, that will include the Freddy vs. Jason movie and the 2009 reboot. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, now, starting up at 12, that I think it's the worst out of all 12, and that is Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Fuck this movie. I stopped, I turned the movie off, right? I think at 40 minutes where Jason's soul kind of got back to his body, which it makes no fucking sense. Hell, this movie makes no sense at all. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I'm not kidding. This made Halloween Resurrection a masterpiece. I'm not bullshitting. This is how bad this movie is. I can't find one good part in this movie. The gory scenes aren't even that great either. There's a lot of scenes that make no sense at all. First of all, the chase scene at the beginning of the movie turned out to be a setup by the military, which is retarded and doesn't make any sense at all. Second, why does a doctor have to be patted down before going into his own lab? And why would a doctor eat a human heart? Didn't that you not realize that shit could kill you? You're a doctor. How do you not know this shit? And then he gets possessed by Jason and starts killing people. That's pretty much how it happened. How original. Yeah, this movie made no sense. It's just stupid. I just hate the writing. I don't find one good kill scene in this movie. I mean, I just can't. It's just so. This movie is dumb in any single way. And now he's possessing other people to see who's the real killer and all that. This movie makes no sense. There's no way I'm watching this movie again. I'm definitely skipping that movie whenever I get to the Friday the 13th marathon. This is one of the rare times that I'm going to give this a 0 out of 10. Fuck this movie. Seriously. This is one of the worst movies I ever seen. I know y'all are going to get really pissed at me for turning this movie off, but I can't take it anymore. You probably have not seen the movie yet. Watch it yourself. It's that bad of a movie. It's just the stupidest movie I've ever seen. One of the worst I've ever seen. So, yeah. 0 out of 10. Definitely Friday the 13th's worst movie at number 12. Okay, now at number 11, I'm going to pick Jason X. Fuck this movie too. But the reason why I put this above Jason Goes a little bit above Jason Goes to Hell is because it movie does make a little sense, but it's just as bad as Jason Goes to Hell. Only a little bit better, not too much. This movie makes no sense as well, for the most part. I mean, I guess the opening scene is a little decent. Not really. But mainly of this movie, the plot of this movie is let me know. Jason gets captured and he's about to be frozen. And it turns out the Asian woman apparently killed her and she froze with him. And then about 4 centuries later, they finally found these two frozen, and they would be put back to life, and they try to sell Jason for something. I don't fucking know. The movie makes no sense at all. So I mean, it's a sci-fi movie. And speaking of sci-fi, who thought this is a great idea to make this movie? Who thought this is a good idea to have Jason in outer space? That is stupid. It makes no sense. And also, first of all, this is not the only thing that's bad about this movie. The actors and the set of this movie. The terrible acting. It looks like a shitty softcore porno.
Cryogenic breach. Emergency lockdown.
Oh God, no!
He's a big boy.
I bet he's hung like a mammoth.
Harder.
Who's been a naughty little boy?
I have. Oh, harder.
You want it a little harder?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's that?
Oh,
Yeah?
God, yeah.
Pausing. Yeah, no kidding. I think we need to reboot.
That does not count as a kill.
Yes, it does.
It's gonna take more than a poke in the ribs to put down this old dog. Yeah, that ought to do it.
I have it under control.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
Holy shit! We gotta go now!
I mean, seriously. And first of all, why are the actresses dressed like that? Especially not wearing protection while performing an autopsy on Jason. Like, really? Are you not aware that can give you a disease? This movie is so stupid in every single way. I do not understand this movie. I don't know who thought the idea. I think it's a good idea, and many people agree on that, of Jason going out in outer space. This is just as bad as the first movie. Yeah, there's a little bit of decent scenes, but it's not enough for me to give it a 1. So, still the worst. It's 0 out of 10 for me. Fuck this movie. So yeah, a little bit better than Jason Goes to Hell, but that's like taking better shits than you did yesterday. So, it's at 11 for me. Jason X comes in at 11. Okay, now, number 10. This one is not as god-awful as the last two movies, but it's still really bad. And that will be Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Yes, this movie's a lot better than the last two that I'm ranking, but I don't like the idea of this being it's the second movie without Jason as the killer. As I know, the first movie is Jason's mother, but I'll get to the first movie later. It turns out Jason is actually dead, and it follows up Tommy, who was the kid from the fourth movie, and he suffered from PTSD, and he's go to some mental hospital that looks more like a house. And I just don't like the way the story goes with this movie. And first of all, what the hell is up with the axe scene? What does it piss him so off that he has to kill him?
Well, if that's the way you feel, forget it, Vic. Just forget it. But I think you're really out of line.
There's a lot of scenes that really plot errors or stupid decisions, and I actually hate the characters in this movie as well. And it's right here in my notes. Here are some notes that I have a lot to talk about. First of all, yes, most of the characters in the movie are total assholes, and I just fucking hate them. I find the kid in this movie severely annoying. And first of all, why is Tommy not running when he was spotted by Jason in the beginning of the movie? Or if that's Jason in that movie. And first of all, what's the mother-son scenes in this movie? I find them so annoying and very cringeworthy. I mean, it's just supposed to be funny, because I don't find it funny. And, let's see. Oh, yeah. How did the woman not notice the dead body in the first place before going to bed? And Jason, so-called Jason, turns out to be a paramedic from the beginning of the movie, which it makes no fucking sense. I know it's not really Jason, but it turns out to be him. And what the fuck is this ending? I do not get it at all. That makes no sense. There's more to talk about, but I think that's quite enough here. But yeah, I really hate the characters in that movie. This movie is a total mess. This movie came out, I think, less than a year after the fourth one. No wonder this is so rushed. But it's a really bad movie in general. I think the only good kill scene is the axe thing, even though I kind of find it stupid, but it's quite brutal at the same time. I'm not going to lie here. Yeah, I'm going to have to give this movie a 3 out of 10. It's just a really bad movie in general, guys. It's just a very disjointed film, and yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and move on. So, Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning, comes in at number 10. Okay, now, starting at 9, we're starting to get to the okay movies. Number 9, it may piss a little bit people off, but I'm going to have to pick Friday the 13th, the reboot. Their 2009 one. This is going to be the Killer's Cut version that I'm going to be talking about in this ranking, not the theatrical version. So, yeah, I'm doing the Killer Cut version. My thoughts on this movie, it's okay in my opinion, but I don't really like the characters that much in this movie. First of all, it looks like Rob Zombie directed that movie for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, it's an okay movie. I mean, I'm not really a fan of it, but there are some characters I really don't care for. There is some scenes that made no sense, especially the scene where the Whitney's kidnapped scene by Jason. That Jason thinks that this is his actual mother, which it makes no fucking sense. She does not look like Jason's mother to begin with. I do not understand that at all. But here's some good things about this movie. I actually quite like the kill scenes, especially the long nail to the neck scene. That shit is brutal as hell. This is probably my favorite kill scene. It's nasty. It's gross. It's very gory in the first place. This is probably my favorite kill scene in that movie. But other than that, it's okay, but it's very mediocre. I don't find it really original. I find the characters pretty annoying. And yeah, but it's pretty mediocre. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10, but I think it's better if I put it at 4. I mean, it's okay. but it's really not good, in my opinion. So, Friday the 13th, 2009 reboot would have to be at number 9 for me. Alright, now at number 8, I'm gonna pick Friday the 13th Part 7. The New Blood, I think it's called. Yeah, I think it's called The New Blood. This one, it's one of those movies that this is part 7, and it's one of those movies that has nothing to do with the last movie. It's mainly about this woman. I forgot her name was, but anyway, she has this traumatization that I think she wished on death on her dad, and then moments later her dad dies, and she gets traumatized by it, and then she has to go back to Camp Crystal Lake for therapy, and doesn't really make sense to begin with. I don't like the scene where she has those weird superpowers that causes damage, like where she can actually break lights with not by using her mind. That looks like some kind of a ripoff from Nightmare on Elm Street. But yeah, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time it doesn't. So it's okay movie, but it's kind of bad a little bit. Not really. Yeah, I quite don't really remember much. It's just nowhere near the best one, to be quite honest. But it does have some cool death scenes here and there, especially that chainsaw or the bushwhacker. My favorite kill from this movie would be the bushwhacker scene. I thought this is the most brutal one in this movie. Plus, that doctor deserves it. I mean, I think the doctor in this movie is a total asshole, in my opinion. But yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. It's an okay movie in general. So, Friday the 13th Part 7 would come in at number 8 for me. Alright, now at number 7. Number 7, I think this was... I can see why the movie is hated by most people, but I'm going to pick Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, New York City. I somewhat enjoyed this movie, to be quite honest with you, but I do have some issues here and there with it, such as the trip to the New York scene takes way too long. It's more of that scene than the New York scenes. But I don't really think this movie is that bad as many people say it was. Yes, it's stupid, it's corny, but it's kind of interesting at the same time. I mean, I kind of like the change in this movie a bit. Instead of watching the same movies, same sequels over and over again. So basically what this movie was, I think it's about high school kids going to Manhattan, New York on their trip after their graduation from high school. And apparently Jason accidentally went into the ship, killed some people there, and started causing Titanic that they had to use the rowing boat, and I don't know where they just made it to New York City. That's pretty much how it happened. And then apparently Jason just followed them through it by going underwater like usual. So yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. But there are some scenes I kind of find enjoyable and funny at times. My favorite kill scenes in this movie is definitely these two criminals that are trying to rape a woman. They really deserve that. Especially that guy that tried to shoot her dog in this movie. That scene really pissed me off a bit, but I kind of got happier later because his ass deserves to get killed by Jason. And it was not the most brutal kill in the franchise, but I really do enjoy that scene. This is my favorite kill scene in this movie because, first of all, they fucking deserves it because they try to gang rape her and all that. And for drugging her too. What is this, sleep meds? What is this, try to drug her to sleep and get fucked real hard and all that. Sorry if I'm being repetitive, but this is my favorite scene in this movie. And there's another funny scene where the boxer's head get knocked off. I kind of find that scene hilarious as well. He just knocked his head, and his head falls right into the dumpster. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this movie. So, Jason Takes Manhattan would have to be at number... What's my list here? Number 7. Yeah, it would have to be at number 7 for me. Oh, yeah. I also forgot. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I thought this is a really decent movie. So, yeah, I forgot to give it a rating on this one. Moving on. Alright, now at number 6, I got Freddy vs. Jason. As some may know, this movie is a crossover of Nightmare on Elm Street. I will do the movie. I will be doing the ranking of Nightmare on Elm Street next, just so y'all know. So yeah, I will rank Nightmare on Elm Street next. But anyway, onto the video. Apparently, it's more into Nightmare on Elm Street than it was on Friday the 13th. Apparently, Freddy got pissed off at Jason because Jason was killing some people there at Elm Street or something like that. I don't really remember too much, but there are some scenes I really don't like in this movie. I just hate the high school students in this movie. They're just so bratty to me for some reason. They're just fucking brats to me. But most of this movie is really good. I thought the fight scenes between Ken and Freddy are entertaining as hell. It's nasty, it's gory, it's very fun to watch, and I'm just so entertained by it. And there's some cool kill scenes as well, here and there. But, yeah. That's the main part I really like in this movie. So, yeah. And it does have some flashbacks from the previous Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Mainly the first 5 movies. And there's a scene, it has a different flashback with Jason, which we've all known before, of being drowned in the lake and shit. But yeah, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I think this is a really good movie. Not great, but really good. I have to give this higher because I just love the fight scenes with Freddy and Jason. That's pretty much it. So, Freddy vs. Jason will have to be at number 6. And yes, Nightmare on Elm Street is next. Alright, now at number 5, I got maybe controversial, but I have to pick Friday the 13th Part 2. This scene takes off right after the first movie. The reason why I put it at the middle is because it's not very original, and the plot is way too similar to the first movie to begin with. But as some of you know, the beginning of the movie, they killed off the main character, Alice. I think that's her name. They just killed her off in the first movie. They just started with this movie that had nothing to do with the last movie. That's pretty much how it happened. And the first movie to have Jason as their killer instead of his mother. But he's wearing some kind of bag as his mask. Or something like that. He didn't get the hockey mask yet. And I do quite enjoy some kill scenes here and there. I can't... There's a lot of great scenes in this movie. Especially the death scenes. I saw some uncut kills here on YouTube, and holy shit, they're way gorier than I thought it would be. I'm not gonna lie, the uncut death scenes are very gory. And there's some scary scenes here as well. Especially the ending scene where with Jason's mom's head on there before the credits roll. I thought something was about to pop up at first. From what I read on Wikipedia, they're originally going to have her sing with her eyes just open and then it fades black, but they decided not to do that because it looks fake or something like that. I kind of wish they'd do that so it could scare the shit out of me. So yeah, I thought the kill scenes are entertaining. Everything is pretty... But it's at number 5 for me because I just like the top 4 more. That's Saw. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's a really great movie, to be honest, in my opinion. So, Friday the 13th, Part 2 would have to be at number 5 for me. Alright, now at number 4, I got Friday the 13th, Part 3. Now, Part 3 is way similar to the second movie. The reason why I think this is a little bit better, like 2% better, is because there are some scenes that I find quite funny, especially the thug scenes, especially the biker scenes in this movie. I thought they were hilarious.
Excuse me, but I believe that's my wallet.
Make a wish.
Can I buy you two guys a beer or something?
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. Hold on!
I mean, at the convenience store, for some reason, I just find that scene hilarious. And then all three get killed. But there are some few plot errors that I should bring up here. So it's right here in my notes. But as all may know, it's way too similar to the second movie. Plus, it doesn't really have anything to do with the second movie whatsoever. There's another one. How is that thug even still alive when he got stabbed multiple times by a machete? I mean, that scene I don't get. But most of all, I really do enjoy it. I thought the death scenes are really brutal. Just a fun movie in general. So, Friday the 13th, Part 3. I'm also gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So, I almost forgot to give it a rating on this one. But other than that, Friday the 13th, Part 3 will have to come in at number 4 in my opinion. Alright, so at number 3, I'm going to pick Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Now, this one, I think this is a really great this is a much better movie than Part 5. Like, way better than Part 5. I think Part 6 pretty much ignored Part 5. As all we know, this follows Tommy from Part 4, but it's played by a different actor this time. And apparently what happened was he decides to go to Jason's grave and destroy him and cremate his body, but as I'm gonna know, it was it was at night and it was storming, and apparently lightning struck Jason and turned him to life. That's pretty much how it happened. And then Tommy goes to the police station, and the cop thinks he's the actual killer, which he's not. But yeah, and Jason kind of framed him. I don't know. I kind of like the story it turns out in this movie. This one is, I think, Friday the 13th 6 is very underrated. I mean, I also find the kill scenes very, very, very brutal and entertaining. Well, there's a few of them that are stupid, especially the guy gets his head stumped on a tree that looks like a smiley face. I find that scene really stupid, to be honest. But other than that, that's pretty much all I can remember. I also like the RV scene where it has this glam metal song to it. and he gets killed, and then the RV crashes. I also quite enjoy the scene. The only main thing I really hate about this movie is that fucking cop. He just really pisses me off for some reason. I don't know why. Other than that, this is a very underrated movie. I ain't gonna lie. Actually, later on, that he deserves to get killed at some point. Yeah, he got killed later in the movie, and he really deserves it. So yeah, I think this is a really great movie. I'm also going to give it an 8 out of 10. This is a very underrated movie. I just love the plot and everything. So yeah, Friday the 13th, 6 would have to be at number 3 for me. Okay, now, at number 2, I'm going to pick Friday the 13th for the Final Friday. As all of you know, this was originally the final Friday the 13th movie, but due to high amounts of success, they decided to make more. But anyway, yeah, Friday the 13th Part 4. I really enjoyed the shit out of this movie. I don't think it has anything to do with Part 3 as far as I remember, but it kind of doesn't matter since this is way better than 2 and 3 in my opinion. My favorite kill scene is this is the machete to the head, to that guy's head. That is just really nasty and brutal, especially the uncut scene of it. That makes it looks really gruesome. It's nasty and all that. No, actually, I take that back. I think the shower death scene is more brutal in my opinion. I don't know. It's pretty hard to choose here because there's a lot of brutal death scenes in this one. As some of you know, the Tommy saga is definitely my favorite, especially with this movie. The whole plot, I just love how that scene turns out. He slayed the fuck out of Jason through the eye of the machete. That shit is sick and brutal, and it's really gory too, and I fucking love it. So yeah, it has an amazing plot. They execute it very well. It's just a classic movie in general. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's not 10 out of 10 for me, but I really have no issues with this movie whatsoever. But it's a 9 out of 10. It's amazing. Friday the 13th for the final chapter would have to be at number 2 for me. All right, you ready for my number 1? My number 1 is going to be Friday the 13th, the first movie, Friday the 13th 1. Why it's my number 1 favorite? I just love how scary it is. It's scary, and you don't know who's the killer in, which it turns out, and holy shit, the performance of Jason's mother. I forgot what her name was. She scared the fuck out of me. She was intimidating. I mean, she fucking nailed that movie. The actress who played Jason's mother, I mean, she fucking nailed the shit out of that movie. It's definitely a fucking classic movie. As all me know. I mean, definitely not a movie to watch at night. I mean, she is that intimidating. Especially a movie that's released in 1980. Well, The Shining's scarier, but you get what I mean. So yeah, she's a fucking lunatic. She is grieving over her son's death because he wasn't taken care of properly. He got drowned and all that. But yeah, man. The actress who is Betsy Palmer, who plays Mrs. Voorhees, Pamela Voorhees. So yeah, she's a lunatic. The fight scene between her and Alice is just entertaining and very intense. And very creepy as well, since it's all in the dark. And the way she chases her, grabs out a knife, and as some of you know, her death scene, she got decapitated by a machete. And then, as some of you know, later on, Jason gets dragged her down, and then Jason gets revenge for killing Pamela Voorhees. That's pretty much this whole movie is. It's perfect. I fucking love it. It's scary, especially at the dark scenes. The kill scenes are, well, they're gory, but at the same time, it's scary. And that's how horror movies should be made, like that. So yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. Masterpiece movie. Fucking love it. So yeah, Friday the 13th, 1980, the first movie, will have to be at number 1 for me. And yes, guys, that is my Friday the 13th ranking from worst to best. So, what's your ranking on the film series? Let me know in the comments. So, yeah, the next movie trilogy ranking that I am doing is Nightmare on Elm Street. So, stay tuned on that. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the video. So, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to me if you haven't. Click the bell for the notification. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and most importantly, share this video so I can get more views and subscribers. So, till then, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, everyone.